if you don't understand it. So 60 Minutes also did an interview with Kamala Harris. And JD was just talking about how the media is so unfair and 60 Minutes is so unfair. And Donald Trump had a right to walk out of the interview. Well, I want you to have a listen to this.
You're very different in the policies that you've supported in the past. You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator. You supported the Green New Deal. You supported Medicare for all. You've supported legalizing marijuana. Joe Biden doesn't support those things. So are you going to bring the policies, those progressive policies that you supported as senator, into a Biden administration?
What I will do, and I promise you this, and this is what Joe wants me to do, this was part of our deal. I will always share with him my lived experience as it relates to any issue that we confront. And I promised Joe that I will give him that perspective and always be honest with him.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No. No, it is the perspective of a woman who grew up a black child in America, who was also a prosecutor, who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India, who also, likes hip hop. Like, what do you want to know?
All right. So first of all, Norah O'Donnell pressed her on that question. That was a fair question, and it was a tough question. The difference is, and you could, and I'm not crazy, by the way, about Kamala Harris's answer, but the difference is she sat there and she answered the questions, and she didn't play victim. She didn't walk out in the middle of the interview. And by the way, throughout that interview, Norah O'Donnell, I thought, did a very good job, and she pressed her. And again, that's 60 Minutes. But Kamala didn't play the victim. Now, this is an interesting question because, the question is thrown around to Joe Biden, to Kamala Harris, to Democrats, to politicians, that do you think Donald Trump is a racist?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. You can look at a pattern that goes back to him questioning the identity of the first black president of the United States. You can look at Charlottesville, when there were peaceful protesters, and on the other side, neo-Nazis. And he talks about fine people on either side, calling Mexicans rapists and criminals.
I mean, Brian,
his first order of business was to institute a Muslim ban. It all speaks for itself.
Yeah, right. She just got away with lying there. Donald Trump would not have got away. She lied about Charlottesville. Donald Trump says, of course I condemn the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists. He said that verbatim. And every single time that Harris and Biden say that, they get away with it. Okay. And Kamala Harris, clearly she's never dealt with any difficult questions like that. Because if you actually watch the video, she's just laughing hysterically, staring into the camera, and it's terrifying. Kamala Harris,
that's terrifying.
She actually scares me.
That's terrifying.
And she is clearly a socialist. And Joe Biden is 78 years old. And there's a reason why Joe Biden has called a litmus campaign for the next You realize Joe Biden is not going to campaign in person for the next 9 days, but Kamala Harris is out there every single day campaigning because Kamala Harris is the real candidate. She's a real candidate.
Okay.
Joe Biden's 78 years old.
78 years old.
He will be the oldest first-term president, assuming that he wins, and he's not going to. But assuming that he does, he just called Donald Trump George Bush yesterday.
I can give you plenty of gaps that Donald Trump has as well.
He confused his political opponent
so you're a doctor.
with a president from 3 terms ago yesterday.
Here comes the doctor diagnosis, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not saying I'm a doctor, but that's pretty unusual to do.
Unusual. Okay.
And you can see his wife sitting next to him murmuring, like, "No, you're going up against Donald Trump. Going up against Donald Trump."
All right.
But I'm a real doctor.
It's very clear as day. Again, I'm not saying I'm a doctor.
So let me respond now.
And then with what Pelosi has done in the last couple of weeks by creating this commission for presidential capacity that is a combination of doctors and psychiatrists that at any point can do a mental check on the president, and they can invoke the 25th Amendment to remove that president from office.
All right,
that's really, really scary.
So
Brian.
now my turn. Now.
So I'm glad that Kamala Harris was asked those difficult questions, and that.
You're glad. So they did an okay job. They're not so biased.
They did.
Oh,
one out of about 200 interviews.
One
yes,
out of 200.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, sure.
I'm
Okay,
glad that
so
that's
let me
in place.
respond now. Let me respond now.
And I've actually,
Can I respond now?
I'm not done yet. And
You're not done
I've
yet.
mentioned
Okay.
on multiple occasions how Kamala Harris is the most liberal senator. And you told me, where'd you get that from? OAN or Fox News? No. That's from govtrack.org, which is a nonpartisan organization. Kamala Harris was more liberal than Bernie Sanders the last 3 years. The things she wants to do are the definition of socialist, and she is a socialist, and she is a progressive. And the fact that she is trying to deny that is, again, it's terrifying, Brian. I am literally scared of Kamala Harris becoming president of the United States as a citizen of the United States.
Okay, you're done now with your
100%
right-wing filibuster. Okay.
It's not a right-wing filibuster.
Okay, so my turn now. I think it was, because that's what it sounded like. I find it very interesting that you say that you're terrified.
Terrified, yeah.
Okay, you don't have to repeat it. We heard what you said. That you're terrified by Kamala Harris. Not only are you not terrified by this pandemic, many Donald Trump supporters out there say that he's done an A-plus job. Nobody seems to be terrified by tens of thousands of people at campaign rallies, not practicing social distancing, not wearing masks. Nobody seems to be terrified that the president couldn't even protect his own family. And now we're learning that members in the Mike Pence task force and administration have tested positive for the virus. Meanwhile, Mike Pence is out there campaigning without a mask. But that doesn't seem to terrify Donald Trump supporters. As far as being a liberal and being a socialist, what I hear from people on the right is that, oh, my God, look at all the over-prosecuting she did. If you ask many people what a liberal is, they would tell you, well, it's certainly not over-prosecuting and putting people in jail longer than they should be in.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the things that she openly supported.
Listen,
in the primary, as
you got to let me finish. Even if
she
you
was trying to become
the
Democratic nominee for the president of the United States,
Brian. I only spoke for
well,
30 seconds. Not fair. You just went on for 5 minutes. Just because you disagree with me doesn't mean you just interject when I talk for 30 seconds. Please let me finish. Thank you. So you say that you're terrified by Kamala Harris. Oh, my God. It's so terrifying to protect people with pre-existing conditions. It's so terrifying to help the middle class and those that are struggling. It's so terrifying that the only people that are going to be taxed, overtaxed or taxed more are those that are making $400,000 a year more. Boy, that sounds so terrifying to me.
Okay, but so you're wrong there,
but
Brian.
it's very interesting.
You just lied twice.
No, I did
yes,
not lie.
You did lie.
You
just lied twice.
And you just interrupted me twice. Could I please finish? You just interrupted me twice. I didn't interrupt you. You went on forever and ever. You filibustered. I'm not filibustering. Okay?
You're lying through your teeth.
I'm lying through my teeth.
Yes.
So you want to call me a liar, but never once have you ever called Donald Trump a liar.
Donald Trump has definitely lied before. So has Joe Biden. So has Kamala Harris.
Right. They're all liars.
So have I. So have I. So have you. And you just did.
Right.
Trump wants to protect pre-existing conditions.
First of all, that is idiotic.
You're
just not going to let me finish my thought.
Biden's taxes are not going to only tax those who make over $400,000 a year.
Okay. Very terrifying.
He's going to repeal Trump's tax cuts. Trump's tax cuts have saved 82% of the
What about people
country
with pre-existing conditions that's going on in the Supreme Court right now? Would you like to talk about that? Is that terrifying to you?
That has nothing to do with that. That's all about
That's
getting,
not terrifying.
No, that's all about getting Obamacare taken down.
So he'll protect people with pre-existing
absolutely
conditions. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
He has said that 30 times in the last months. Yes,
Do you
Brian,
have any idea what's going on in the Supreme Court right now?
Yeah, of course I do.
No idea.
That has nothing to do with just pre-existing conditions. That's about taking down Obamacare. Pre-existing conditions is a part of Obamacare. And he's already said on multiple, and he's signed an executive order to protect them as well, Brian.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What's that policy?
Yes.
What's that policy?
What do you mean, what policy?
What's going on in the Supreme Court right now?
You're not making any sense.
I'm making complete sense.
No, you're not. What's going down?
When they get rid of Obamacare, people with pre-existing conditions will not be covered. Do you not understand that?
And Donald Trump has already signed an executive order to protect those people.
Oh, really? I'd love to see that. So it ensures that people with pre-existing conditions will be covered. Because
Donald
I think
Trump
you're 100% wrong.
Has said that literally 30 times. It is a left-wing talking point.
No, it's not a left-wing talking point.
Yes, it is a left-wing talking point.
No, it's not.
That Donald Trump is not. It's just like the tax. And same with the $400,000. That's a left-wing talking point at this point, right? Yes.
So you know Joe Biden's policies.
Trump's tax cuts saved 82% of the country money on their taxes. And if he repeals those, that's not just people that make unless you think that 80% of the country makes $400,000 a year, which they definitely do not.
Okay,
it's not even close. That's probably 2%.
So number one, you're wrong.
I am right. I'm not wrong, Brian.
So if I can talk for longer than 3 seconds, that would be much appreciated. Number one, you're wrong. If you go with his policy plan, it's all laid out. If you're making under $400,000 a year, your taxes will not go up, period. That is a right-wing talking point.